All right, everyone, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of digital media design.
And let me tell you, it's a wild world out there.
Wild is an understatement, right? I mean, this stuff changes faster than my newsfeed. Thankfully, we've got these RoleCatcher.com resources to guide us.
Yeah, they're like our trusty compasses in this digital jungle.
Okay, so jungle compasses.
Huh.
That sounds a little intimidating. Should I be worried?
Well, this career guide does say each job posting gets over 250 applicants.
250. Okay, yeah, intimidating might be putting it mildly.
But that's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Yeah.
They're all about giving you an edge in this crazy competitive landscape.
Because it's not just about having a pretty portfolio anymore, is it?
No, not even close. We're talking about integrated multimedia products now.
Okay, whoa, hold on a sec. Can we rewind and unpack that phrase a little? Integrated multimedia products. What in the digital world does that even mean?
Right, sorry. It can sound a little jargony.
Just a tad.
Basically, think about a website for, say, a new fitness tracker. You've got the sleek visuals, sure, but you've also got interactive charts to track your progress, maybe even an AR experience, where you can try on the tracker virtually. That's what they mean by integrated multimedia.
Wow, okay, I'm starting to get it. So it's like the designer isn't just creating a static image or a logo, they're thinking about the entire user experience.
Exactly, how all those different elements work together seamlessly.
Which means those designers need some serious tech skills on top of their artistic abilities.
Oh, absolutely. This guide even dives into the specifics. We're talking Python for data visualization, JavaScript for interactive elements. The more technical skills you have, the more valuable you are.
So it's not just about being a design whiz, you have to be a bit of a tech wizard too. Like a digital Da Vinci with coding superpowers.
I like that. A digital Da Vinci with coding superpowers. I think that's a perfect way to describe it.
Right. Because this is a whole new breed of designer we're talking about. But how do you even break into a field that's this competitive and technically demanding? I mean, where do you even begin?
Well, the first hurdle might surprise you. It's all about getting past those AI gatekeepers.
AI gatekeepers! Come again!
You know, those automated systems that scan your resume before a human ever lays eyes on it.
Oh, right. You mean my resume is battling robots now? Is that what you're telling me?
In a way, yes. These systems are looking for specific keywords, experience levels, even how well your skills match the job description.
Yeah.
And if you're not speaking their language,
It's game over.
pretty much,
Yeah.
your resume ends up lost in the digital void.
Okay, well, that's terrifying. So how do you avoid that fate? How do you make sure your resume doesn't get lost in the algorithm abyss?
Well, that's where RoleCatcher comes into play with their AI-powered tools. They've actually got this thing called Copilot AI.
Copilot AI. Sounds intriguing. And maybe a little like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's pretty futuristic, actually. Imagine having an AI career coach who helps you tailor your CV to specific job descriptions. It's like having someone whisper in your ear, hey, use this keyword, tweak that phrase, and boom, you've got a much better chance of getting noticed.
Okay, now that sounds incredibly helpful. But a tiny part of me is wondering if this AI is going to show up at the interview for me too.
Not yet, at least, but it can definitely help you prepare.
Well, in that case, let's say Copilot AI has worked its magic, our resume has conquered the robots, and we've landed an interview. What comes next? What does the typical career path even look like in this field? So we've conquered the robots, aced the interview. What's next? Do they just throw you into the digital deep end, or is there some kind of onboarding flotation device they give you?
Well, typically you'd start as a junior designer, kind of getting your feet wet.
Getting your feet wet. Okay, so we're sticking with the water metaphors. I like it. But what does getting your feet wet actually entail in the design world?
It's a lot of assisting on projects, shadowing more senior designers, really soaking up as much knowledge as you can.
So it's less about designing the next viral app on day one and more about learning the ropes from the pros.
Exactly. This guide gives a good example. Imagine you're assisting on a rebrand for a local museum. You might be doing design research, creating social media assets, maybe even building some basic web pages under the watchful eye of a senior designer.
Okay, so it's like design boot camp, but instead of obstacle courses and push-ups, it's Adobe Creative Suite and HTML.
Something like that.
And from there, how do you climb the ranks? Is it just a matter of putting in the hours, or are there specific milestones you need to hit?
Well, as you gain experience, you'll likely move into a mid-level role. Like maybe you become a digital media designer and you start handling more responsibility.
More responsibility, like what? Give me the juicy details.
Think leading a project from start to finish, collaborating directly with clients, maybe even mentoring those junior designers who are just starting out.
Okay, now that sounds a bit more exciting than fetching coffee for the design team, but I imagine with more responsibility comes more challenging.
Definitely, you're juggling deadlines, managing client expectations,
Well,
staying on top of the latest trends and technologies. It's a fast-paced field, that's for sure.
so adaptability is key. You can't just master one software and call it a day.
Absolutely not. This
Mm.
guide really hammers home the importance of continuous learning. You have to be a quick study, always ready to pivot and embrace the next big thing.
Because the moment you stop learning in the digital world, you start falling behind.
Hmm, exactly.
So let's fast forward a bit. You're a seasoned pro, you've mastered the tools, you've got a portfolio that would make Michelangelo weep with envy. What's the end game look like? What do you go from there?
Well, you could become a lead digital media designer, where you're overseeing a whole team of creatives. Or you could branch out into a more specialized area, like UX design or AR/VR development.
Hold up, back up a sec. UX design. I hear that term thrown around a lot, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure I understand what it means. Is it just a fancy way of saying website design?
Not quite. It stands for user experience design,
Mm.
and it's all about making technology easy, enjoyable, and intuitive to use.
Okay, so it's not just about how a website or an app looks, but how it actually feels to use it.
Exactly. Think about it. You could have a website that's absolutely stunning visually, but if it's clunky, confusing, and impossible to navigate,
No one's going to use it.
exactly. So a good UX designer is worth their weight in gold because they make sure that a digital product not only looks great, but also functions beautifully.
And speaking of things that are changing the game, we can't forget about AI.
Right. AI, the elephant in the room, or should I say the algorithm in the design studio. We've talked about how it can help us get our foot in the door with our resumes, but what about once we're actually on the job? Is AI going to be sketching logos and coding websites while we're out sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere? I wish.
Yeah.
But the reality is, AI in design is less about replacement and more about collaboration.
Collaboration, huh? So it's not coming for our jobs yet.
Not quite. Think of it this way. AI can handle a lot of those repetitive, time-consuming tasks that designers often get bogged down with, things like resizing images, converting files, generating code snippets.
Okay, so it's like having a super efficient design intern who never sleeps, complains, or asks for a raise.
Exactly. It frees up designers to focus on what they do best. The creative thinking, the problem solving, the big picture strategizing, the things that AI, at least for now, can't replicate.
So the robots aren't stealing our jobs, they're just changing how we do them.
Exactly. And honestly, this guide suggests that the most successful designers in the future will be those who embrace AI as a partner, not fear it as a competitor.
So it's about learning to work smarter, not harder.
Precisely. Like RoleCatcher's Copilot AI, it can actually analyze your design work and offer suggestions for improvement.
Wait, seriously, it critiques your designs. That's both amazing and slightly terrifying.
It is pretty cool. Imagine having a virtual mentor who's available 24/7, offering personalized feedback based on data and trends. It's like having a secret weapon in your design arsenal.
Okay, I'll admit, having an AI design buddy sounds kind of cool. A little intimidating, sure, but mostly cool.
Right. Think of the possibilities. You could test out a million different ideas, get instant feedback, even push your own creative boundaries with the help of, well, an algorithm.
It's like having the world's most objective design critic on speed dial. But let's shift gears for a sec. We've talked a lot about skills and AI and all that jazz, but what about that good old-fashioned portfolio? How does a budding digital media designer even begin to build a portfolio that stands out in this AI-powered, hyper-competitive world?
Well, this is where your unique creativity really takes center stage. And honestly, this RoleCatcher guide makes a great point. It's all about quality over quantity.
So less is more.
Exactly. Don't feel like you have to cram every single project you've ever touched into your portfolio.
So what? I should just be super picky, only showcase the stuff that I think is, like, award-winning.
Well, award-winning would be nice, but yeah, the idea is to choose your strongest pieces, the projects that really highlight your unique style and the specific skills you want to emphasize, the ones that make you go, damn, I made that.
So it's like curating a museum exhibit of your best work. You're telling a story with each piece you choose.
Exactly. It's about crafting a narrative that showcases your skills, your creativity, and your evolution as a designer. And that's something that AI can't replicate, that human touch, that personal story.
That's so true, because anyone can learn the software, but your portfolio, that's where you really get to let your personality shine through.
Absolutely. And speaking of letting your personality shine through, networking is huge in this industry.
Oh, right, because as much as we like to pretend it's all about the work, it's also about who you know.
It definitely helps. Go to industry events, connect with other designers online, find mentors who can offer guidance. You'd be surprised how open people are to sharing their experiences and making connections.
So it's about building a community, not just a client list.
Exactly. And that's something else that RoleCatcher really excels at. They've got all these features for showcasing your work, connecting with potential employers, and getting your portfolio in front of the right people.
They really have thought of everything, haven't they? From battling resume scanning robots to helping you build your network.
They're like your one-stop shop for navigating the digital design world.
It's amazing and a little mind-boggling, to be honest. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
I know, right? That's a lot to take in.
But if there's one key takeaway I hope our listeners walk away with today, it's this. Don't be afraid to embrace the chaos. This industry is constantly changing, evolving, pushing boundaries.
Couldn't agree more. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Exactly. So go out there, experiment, make mistakes, learn from them, and never, ever stop pushing yourself creatively.
Here's to embracing the chaos and designing the future.
Cheers to that. And on that note, this has been an absolutely fantastic deep dive. Thank you so much for joining me today.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to everyone listening, keep those creative juices flowing, and we'll catch you in the ever-evolving digital world.